just for the record, Will, my soup, and doing an interview on my "Is There a Solution" interview. So the first question says, while social media allows us to share updates about our lives, where we are and who we are with, our beliefs, political, religious, or whatever, it has also become a place where people are attacked, bullied, and put down for their looks, beliefs, etc. Is there a solution to this issue, or should there not be a solution at all? And what do you think?
Well, I think that any form of bullying should not be allowed. And the solution is just to, and I know that it gets into that whole First Amendment, freedom of speech, but I still feel that, especially now, you're seeing it more and more with cancel culture, things that offend people. So I definitely think that social media should take a responsibility, and if there is such a thing, as somebody being bullied, that they should be cut off.
I agree with you. And we actually did touch that in our class about that, about should freedom of speech be censored in the social media platforms.
When it hurts someone, absolutely.
And that one's kind of like a tough question, because I feel like we should be regulated, because freedom of speech isn't always used for good. I feel like some people abuse it. There's people who just like to troll, who like to just insult people, degrade them for absolutely no reason, and that's just because internally they just.
I mean, because it's one thing to have an opinion on a topic, and even if it's an unpopular subject matter or opinion, you're entitled to opinion. But to use a platform to beat up on someone because the way they look or something that they believe in or whatever, and then just shame them or do whatever, I think that's where the line needs to be drawn.
I totally agree with you. Question 2 says, should open debates and disagreements be allowed to take place in social media platforms? Why and why not?
I think that's fine. I think you should be able to debate, and that's part of human interaction. You express your point of view, I express my point of view. We might not see eye to eye, and having the ability to have that back and forth, and it's not even to try to dissuade you or change your mind. It's just, this is how I feel. This is my outlook. If you can argue your point intelligently, then that's fine. Debate is fine. That's what this whole country is built on. Differences of opinion and finding a common medium to make this world, this planet, or this country work. And it's healthy. That's even in any kind of relationship.
I really do like that. And honestly, I feel like it should be allowed as well, but I feel like proper etiquette of debate should be taught, in the sense of like...
I mean, your last presidential debate showed you what exactly should not be allowed.
Exactly.
Okay? There was a lot of stepping over and just nonsense going on, and that's not what a debate is about. A debate is stating your point, having your argument, and backing that up, and then letting the people make up their mind. That's what debate is. And at least, in my humble opinion. And then, like I said, letting the people who are in the audience make up their mind.
The cool thing that I like about debates, when they're done right, it's like, for example, when I've debated with somebody, and it's been like a healthy debate,
yeah,
I actually see the other person's perspective. So
right.
Mine doesn't mean I don't change my point of view,
right?
But it gives me a better understanding of the whole cake.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you understand their background and where they're coming from and what they're, because everything is perspective, right? Point of view, and whether it's religion, it's political beliefs, it could be just even your upbringing. You might have been brought up different than me, and so my morals, my beliefs, things that I stand for might be different than yours. But if you understand the background, then you understand the argument. Might not be the right argument in your opinion, but at least you understand it, and that's healthy.
Yeah, because it's a learning process.
Right.
I like that. Number 3 says, is there a risk involved with disallowing open debates, disagreements, and arguments online?
I'm sorry, come again?
Is there a risk involved with disallowing open debates, disagreements, and arguments online? So
Absolutely.
Do you feel like there would be any negative backlash if people just started saying, you know what, you guys can't seem to find a way to do it, no one gets to do it?
well, then that's censorship in its worst form. It's and I mean, you have to have debate. You have to have open discussions. If you stop discussing things and there's no communication, then we don't understand each other.
And
So if
then,
you take that away, if you take the platform away, if you take the ability to have open discussions, intelligent discussions, then it's just like everybody shut up. It's like putting little kids in a corner, and it's like you're not solving the problem. You're stopping the debate. You're stopping the fight. Okay, but there is no working towards finding a real solution.
I agree with that, and then I really feel like it would be because, again, there's a lot of people who are already sensitive as it is.
Right.
And like if you're adding like a special high volatile fuel to the fire, I mean, you can't be surprised when there's a wildfire and then everything's like ablaze.
Right.
So I feel like instead of disallowing it at some point, you should teach how to do it properly. How to,
They don't teach that anymore.
that should be a thing. That should be a thing that should come
And
back.
everybody gets hurt. Everybody gets their feelings hurt because they don't know how to debate.
And people should also understand that nothing is personal. Everything
Right.
is just, trying to get a point across.
Right. Just because you feel a certain way about something doesn't mean that it's because you hate me or you hate the next person or whatever. It's, this is what I believe. This is what I stand for. This is what these are my ideals. And then that person might counter with, well, this is how I see things, and this is the way I was brought up, and this is how I understand it. And then it might be a light switch for you.
And I feel like those are the best key moments in life when
Of
you
course.
learn something from
That
your
only
said
comes,
rival.
and that only comes from maturing, because there's people that argue but they don't hear.
No, they hear but they don't listen. Yeah.
Exactly. They're not taking it in.
Yeah. The next question is there risk involved with allowing open debates, disagreements, and arguments online? And I think we already kind of touched on that. Just to put something out there, it's like, I feel like there can be if done improperly.
Right.
And I feel like there won't be if everything would be done in a very educated way.
Structured.
Yeah.
If there's no structure and no template that says, look, you can argue your point, but make sure that you don't stray and get into personal attacks or this and that. And so there has to be rules, so that the key points are being made, the key arguments are being made, and that's healthy.
Now the next question says, should every person have the right to express their opinions, perspectives, and political views online, even if others disagree?
They should, yes.
Obviously, in a respectful manner.
As long as it's respectful, and again, not using derogatory terms or being a bully or anything like that. Because I can sit here and have a conversation with somebody who opposes my religion or opposes my political point of view, and I'll hear them. And I'll say, hey, I see where you're coming from. I might not agree with you, but I hear you. I understand. And so it's healthy because it helps you grow as a person as well. So you should be able to express yourself as long as it's done in a proper manner.
And that's where the last question comes. Should there be limitations to what people can express online? If so, what kind of limitations, and why not? And I think we also touched on this one, but it's good to bring it up. So personally, I feel like limitations shouldn't be up to someone. I feel like everybody should self-check themselves and limit themselves, because everybody knows right from wrong,
Yes, but I do think that there needs to be some kind of moderator or moderation of some sort, because certain topics should not be put out or discussed in the mainstream when it refers to topics that involve, things of a predatory nature.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
talking about, like
Traumatic events.
not only traumatic events, but even things of a deviant sexual nature. You might be all for that, and those things, keep that stuff to yourself. Keep that out of the mainstream platform, because there's little kids.
Yeah, that's true. It can be accessed by anybody.
And so when it becomes stuff like that, it's just like people have a problem with people being like talking about like extremism. You're talking about KKK, white power and this and that. Let them talk. I think I don't have a problem with them expressing themselves. Because I'm listening to them and it's like, okay, you know, and unfortunately, there's some people that are easily pulled in by that,
swayed by words.
but compared to what's going on in the rest of the general world, I don't think that it has that much of an impact. We're not talking about Hitler and the Nazi movement.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a really extreme form of that. But and when it comes to a platform like, let's say, a Facebook or whatever anybody else is using to talk about it, as long as it doesn't go into those dark areas where children can hurt a child
or breed hatred out of thin air,
then that's where the lines should be drawn. Otherwise, I think anything is open for discussion.
Yeah, I agree. And I did think that there should be a moderator, but I wasn't sure because that kind of topic is always like a kind of like a not either or, but it's like it's hard to say what isn't and isn't, because it's like,
well, I mean, again, if you're talking about someone who wants to voice, hey, let's go beat up, people who wear blue pants, it's like, dude, that's not right. And those people should not be allowed to voice, or say stuff like that, because that's not cool. Because there are, again, you're picking on a particular group. Anything that does like stuff like that, cut them off. Anything that involves hurting someone or creating hate towards someone, it's like, hey, how you feel and all that, that's your business. But at the end of the day, as long as you're not harming other people or trying to lead people to harm others, then we're okay. But beyond that, it's like, draw the line.
Makes sense. Thank you.
All right. No worries.